Misty, it's Vanessa. So for this learning assignment, I have chosen to do a video in hopes that I can reflect my personality a bit better on screen. And so the three quizzes I chose to do were the personality preferences, the VARK learning styles, and the other one, multiple intelligences. So here we go. Start off, I'm starting with the personality preferences. I myself am an INFP, which stands for introverted feeling, extrovert intuition, introverted sensing, and extroverted thinking. Part of the INFP personality, they say the INFP may seem sensitive, even shy, but they will stand up against any demon to hold their cause. Some notable INFPers would be Joan of Arc, George Orwell, Vincent van Gogh, and Franz Kafka. They're all INFPs. Their voice, their courage to express their beliefs and values make INFPs a force to be reckoned with, which I feel is very true. I'm definitely a tornado sometimes, but for most of the time, I'm a very quiet wind unless like hot and cold start meeting. My dominant trait is introverted feelings. A description I got off of personalityjunkie.com says FI, which is the abbreviation for introverted feelings, gives the INFP an unwavering set of internal morals that they seek to understand and mold in a deep, holistic way. I am constantly battling myself with many of the morals I have, especially in the political climate we have. So I always like think about what do I believe in, because I always want to give people the correct answer. Like, not that anyone has to know anything about me, but I would prefer to know the answer just for myself. I have complex, intense, and personal emotions. I do. That's why I'm always thinking about them. I have anxiety. I don't form quick attachments to people. I formed a quick attachment to my cat the first time I met him. My best friend, I hated her for the first semester, and now we've been best friends for about 5 or 6 years now. So yeah, it's weird. I'm always thinking about relationships. I just had to cut off a few high school relationships recently, just because I kept thinking about them. Like, I don't think I want to be friends with them anymore. So just always thinking about what are my morals and who do I want to surround myself with, I think is really important to think of constantly. So the second part of my personality, my auxiliary part, is extroverted intuition, and they say on personalitygrowth.com that this deals with seeing how all things in life are interrelated and to see the world in multiple perspectives. The NE user is always striving for growth or improvement, with their sense of idealism and desire to want to impact the world. They will see possibilities, imaginative ideas everywhere, and want to find ways to inspire people with these ideas. I think I do have pretty strong ideas, and like I would like to spread them with the world with what I create. So I feel like that's very true, and I hope that part of my personality will really help push me through in the future. So for the final two parts of my personality, I have introverted sensing as my tertiary. There wasn't a lot of information on that, but from what I found online, in many ways they're dependent on what has already been tried and established systems of thought that grant them a sense of consistency and security. I feel like the only way to make things and to create things is if you have your box with security and consistency and things you know you like, and then you grow from there. So I think having consistency and security is pretty important. So I hope that's what they were saying. I wasn't quite clear.
So for the VARK learning preferences, I'm going to focus on the first two, visual and kinesthetic. I got a 12 on both. For visual, what I did not know about visual is that it's not just limited to pictures and videos, but it also includes how the lecturer gives their lecture, how they teach in their picturesque language. When I look back on it, I had a few teachers that I connected really well with that had like a very large personality that did that really well. Shout out to Mr. Council, 6th grade math. Flowcharts always help me organize my thoughts, especially in English and history. Underlining and using different colors in your notes. In just a few seconds, I'll show you how I do that with my notes app and on my iPad. That's just a lifesaver. For kinesthetic, it's basically just taking in information using your senses like taste, smell, and hearing. Field trips and hand-on approaches. Something I do all the time is trial and error. I use it during math because I'm not the best at math, but when I do trial and error, it really helps me understand why why is this that, why is this turned into that, da 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 da, which is something I really struggle with, but trial and error helps a lot.
Right now, I'm just going to see how my notes hold up for a visual learner. Something that's good is that it's interesting to the eye. Everything's organized and underlined by color. As you can see to the side, ethics definitions are there, and you can see what the definition of ethics is. At the end, I will add a summary, just summarize what I have so I can remember. For a visual learner, this is very important, but how can we make it better? Something that's really great about this iPad is that I can go straight into Safari. I found a Calvin Hobbes comic that I really liked, and I could put it straight onto my GoodNotes just like that, resize it, and that's something I will remember when I'm taking a test just to draw back from, and it's really cute.
So finally, for my multiple intelligences, very smart if I have multiple. My highest was verbal linguistic, which I was pretty surprised. I got 100%. I know I was good with words, but that was pretty flattering. But basically, verbal linguistic, it involves the ability to use words effectively for reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And the poet has been described as the epitome of verbal linguistic intelligence. I'm no poet, but I'm pretty good with my words sometimes. I'm very good at prose, I like to think. We use words to explain complicated subjects. I've never really tried that, I don't think. Maybe I'll try it in the future, though. Asking questions, I'm definitely good at asking questions. Engage in Socratic method, digesting information through a question-answer exchange. Okay with that. Hone your native ability to tell a story. I think I'm pretty good at telling stories. I was in drama for theater for a few years. I'm a liberal arts major, and I want to focus in cinematography. So I hope I'm very good at that. My second highest intelligence was visual intelligence at 83%. It's basically the same as visual learning, except for a few differences. Visual intelligence allows you to see and modify things in your mind. This kind of understanding of the visual world and its relation to physical items is valuable in solving spatial problems, designing, and doing crafts. It suggests that I make art projects that represent the content that I'm learning, which is actually a pretty good tip. I do like kind of cross-stitching. I did not finish this because I didn't feel like it. But I like to think of my notes as pieces of art, so I think that really relates to visual. So I feel like obviously this assignment helped me reflect on my learning and myself, which is actually a really great way to see how the way that I just am, my personality, corresponds with the way I learn. I feel like every year we do learning assessments, but it doesn't really tie into like who we are as a person. So it was really interesting to see. It was also really interesting to see how I've grown on taking my notes. I've always known I was a visual learner, but I never really did anything about it. And I guess the past couple years out of school, I've really like understood that yes, I am a visual learner, and getting my iPad and using it to its fullest extent is really helping me learn. This visual aspect. Reflecting on my INFP personality, they did strongly recommend that people with extrovert intuition should seek to find a position or niche in the world where they can lead a team to promote change. This will be very fulfilling for them and help them grow as a person. I always want to start change. Change is good, it happens. To be in charge of it, it's even better. You can sort of direct it where it goes. As for change, INFPs seek out experiences that arouse their sympathy, passion, and pity. They often find this kind of inspiration in music, writing, travel, artwork, or charity. I hope to combine those two and make content and like movies that are inspirational, that I can travel and go to like show people different places through these movies and different experiences, and I think it's really important. And this sort of just I really feel like learning my INFP a little deeper really helped me focus on what I want to do and helped me focus on just who I am as a person.